The storyteller welcomes you to another nightmare. Plug in your earphones, close your eyes, and let us begin.
What if someone could just disappear in the middle of a crowded school hallway? No one sees it happen. No one hears a thing. And then, hours later, you find them trapped inside a locked locker, screaming, scratched, and shaking. This happened. I was there, and I still don't know if what I saw was even real, or if something else was messing with us that day. Because if that could happen to Lily, then none of us were ever really safe. Not then, not now, not anywhere. It was a Thursday, late October. That kind of gray, cold day where the sky just hangs over school like a blanket about to smother you. First period had just ended, and I remember it because Lily had pulled me aside at my locker and said someone wrote something messed up in the girls' bathroom. They called the principal. It's serious. 10 minutes later, the announcement came. Attention, this is a lockdown. Please follow all procedures. At first, we didn't panic. We'd done a million drills. But the tone, the way they said it, it didn't sound like a drill. My class huddled behind desks. Lights off, door locked, dead silence. 20 minutes pass. Then 30, 40. At some point, I whispered to Mia, my best friend, and asked, "Where's Lily?" She looked at me like she hadn't thought about it until that second. She hadn't come to class after the bell, but she was just in the hallway with me. Mia checked her phone and texted her. No reply. We waited and waited until finally, after what felt like a full hour, the lockdown ended. But Lily didn't come back. Classes resumed. Teachers acted normal. But you could feel something was off. I didn't focus. I couldn't. I just kept thinking, where the hell is Lily? After lunch, we heard sirens. Police. Back at school. Rumors spread fast. Someone had found something near the science wing. They told us to stay in our rooms again, but this time it wasn't a full lockdown. About 10 minutes later, we all heard it, this faint metallic banging, like someone was hitting the inside of a locker, and that's when they found her. A cop opened the locker, number 193. Inside was Lily, curled up, pale. Her eyes were wide, like she'd seen something she couldn't explain. Her arms were scratched up, her nails broken, like she'd been clawing to get out. She couldn't speak, not for hours. And here's the thing, the locker was padlocked from the outside. It wasn't her locker. No one knew who it belonged to, and nobody had a key for it. That night, I couldn't sleep. I texted Mia nonstop. The next day, the school brought in more cops. Tech guys. They said they were checking the security cameras. They were very quiet about what they found. But one of the assistant teachers, he told another staff member something he shouldn't have. And that teacher's son, he told me. Here's what the footage showed. Lily walking alone down the hallway. She stops, looks around, and then between two frames, she's just gone, like she vanished mid-step. For hours later, another camera shows her face from inside the locker, her eyes wide, staring through the vents, mouth open, silent, and then she starts banging. After 3 days in the hospital, Lily finally talked. She said she remembered walking toward the restroom when she heard someone whisper her name, Lily. She turned around. No one there. She kept walking. Then it felt like someone grabbed her from behind. But when she turned again, no one. Then darkness. Cold metal. No air. She thought she passed out. But she wasn't unconscious. She was aware the whole time, clawing, screaming, hearing people pass by, and something else too, a voice inside the locker, not hers. It whispered, "This is where they put the forgotten ones." The school claimed the locker was a mistake, an old one and used, but it was clean, empty, like it had been used recently. And then they removed it, just wheeled it away one morning like it never existed. That whole row of lockers, gone the next week. They said it was for renovations. But nothing else changed, except for Lily. She never came back to school. Her parents pulled her out. She doesn't answer messages anymore. She deleted all her social media. It's like she didn't just get locked inside that thing. She left a piece of herself in there. I still walk past that hallway sometimes. Even though the lockers are gone, I can tell you exactly where 193 used to be. And if I'm alone, sometimes I hear it. And sometimes I swear I hear someone whisper my name. We all think of school as safe, boring, routine, annoying. But once, just once, I saw how quickly it could turn into something else. Something wrong. A place where time skips. Where people vanish between frames. Where voices echo from places no one should be. And I still wonder, if it had been me that day, would anyone have opened the locker, or would I still be in there? If you made it this far, thank you. And if you ever hear something banging from inside a locker, or a whisper when no one's around, don't open it. Or do. Just don't say I didn't warn you. Before we move on to the next story, if you like true scary stories, please subscribe to Storyteller and click the bell icon for more creepy tales every week. Let me ask you something. What would you do if your school suddenly locked itself? Without warning, no alarm, no announcement, no drills, just doors clicking shut all on their own. What if you were hiding in a dark closet and you heard footsteps outside the door, then a knock, then a whisper that wasn't from anyone you were with? This happened to me, and I don't care what anyone says. That day, that lockdown, it wasn't real, or at least not from this world. It was late, like almost 5 p.m. Most of the school was empty, except for a few of us stuck in aftercare. You know, that weird limbo after regular classes end, but before your parents can pick you up. That's where I was, sitting in the art room with 4 other kids and our aftercare teacher, Mrs. Lang. The sun was already going down. Shadows were long. The school felt hollow, like something had sucked all the normal sounds out of it. No hallway noise, no lockers, just the buzzing of the lights, and the occasional thump from the HVAC. We were all quietly working on coloring sheets when it happened. Suddenly, Mrs. Lang stood up, phone in hand, face pale. She didn't say anything. She just locked the classroom door, pulled the blinds, and whispered everyone into the supply closet. Now, no questions. Go. There was no alarm, no voice over the intercom, no drill announcement. But something in her voice told us this was serious. We all squeezed into the narrow, cluttered closet, shelves stacked with paint, glue, old paper bins. Mrs. Lang locked the closet from the inside and told us to stay completely quiet. At first, I thought maybe someone dangerous had come into the school. But if that were true, why wasn't there an alert? Why was Mrs. Lang so scared, but also so quiet? We sat there in the dark. I was pressed up against a rack of dried paint bottles, knees cramping. No one spoke. No one moved. Then, about 10 minutes in, we heard footsteps. Slow, heavy, deliberate, not running, not rushing, just walking, getting closer. I could feel the tension in Mrs. Lang's breathing. She put a finger to her lips, her eyes wide, and then a knock 3 times, right on the closet door, and then the voice, whispering, so faint I almost thought I imagined it. You forgot someone. Nobody moved. I remember I wanted to scream, but my throat closed up. Mrs. Lang looked like she was going to pass out. She was staring at the door like she expected it to fly open, but it didn't. The footsteps didn't walk away. They just stopped. We waited for what felt like an hour. When she finally opened the door, the hallway was completely empty, silent, and cold, like unnaturally cold. She didn't say anything to us. She just walked to her desk and made a phone call. We were all sent home early. Our parents didn't get much explanation, just that there had been a miscommunication with the lockdown system. But here's the thing. There was no lockdown, no record of it in the system, no drill scheduled, no police ever came. And here's where it gets really weird. Another teacher, in a completely different wing, said their classroom door locked itself automatically at the exact same time. One student said the lights in the hallway flickered and then went out. Another swore she saw a figure at the end of the hallway, standing still, just watching. I asked Mrs. Lang about it the next week. She looked at me for a long time before saying we weren't supposed to talk about that day. She told me something triggered the auto lock system, but the main panel showed no logs. It was like the lockdown never happened, except we lived it. Doors locked, closet shut, footsteps, and that voice. She said she thought one of us had whispered it, but we all denied it. That's when I told her something I hadn't shared yet. When I heard the voice say, "You forgot someone," it didn't sound like it came from outside the door. It sounded like it came from the top shelf of the closet, inside. A few days later, I went back to that supply closet. I had to know if I imagined it all. I opened the door slowly. Everything looked the same, except for one thing. On the top shelf, right where the voice would have come from, there was a dusty bin with old student files. I peeked inside. One of the folders had a name I didn't recognize. Darren Cole, grade 4, withdrawn, 2011. That was 10 years ago. There was a sticky note inside the file that just said, "No record found. Locker still assigned. Removed from roster." We never had a Darren in our school, but when I asked the front office about him, they froze. Like I wasn't supposed to know that name. I still don't know what happened that day, whether we slipped into some kind of glitch in time, or whether something was trying to get in or out. But one thing is stuck in my mind. That voice, that whisper, "You forgot someone." What if it wasn't a threat? What if it was a warning? What if there really was someone in the school who wasn't supposed to be forgotten? Someone who was still there, waiting to be found, or worse, wanting to be remembered. If you ever find yourself in a lockdown with no explanation, and you hear footsteps, and a knock, and a whisper, just remember, sometimes it's not about hiding from someone dangerous. Sometimes it's about hiding from something you already forgot. Don't forget them again.